Hello, YouTube IG. This is Hunter Mayfield again with another video on Generations B.
Okay, well, we'll just get it started on where we left off at. Okay, as far as I see it, okay, we have the generational divide where you have young against younger and young against the seniors, and it's like all got blurred. And in my opinion, it's more or less started where the black family had gotten fractured. You got women who had to take the role of the head of the house, and a lot of times, I believe that sometimes our people get in the middle of fights that we got no business getting in the middle of, and this could go back to women's lib, or you could say the feminist movement. For what I see as a feminist movement, that was more of a thing of a woman having a choice. Do you want to work? Fine, you could do you go ahead, go to work, um, and get paid the same and equal to a man because you're doing the same work as a man, so you should be paid as such.
Right.
That's a choice. Now, if you find with being the role of being a homemaker, a wife, and being at home raising your children,
Right.
putting your energy into the formation of your family in the next generation, that's a good thing too. And I felt that a lot of our people bought into that movement instead of doing what we were designed to do, what worked for us, because back even through the worst of the worst, Jim Crow segregation, the civil rights movement, slavery, and all of that in between. On average, our people were getting married pretty regularly. We was getting married. We stayed married. Was it perfect? No.
No,
Nothing's perfect,
nothing
but
perfect. And I think a lot of them people back then, even the couples where the spouses died young, give or take on a maximum, well, minimum, I'm gonna say at that time, 20 to 30 years they had, matrimony. Compared to now.
It's bad, and people, we're not trying to laugh at this, but it's kind of like
what happened?
Yeah, what happened? It's like I'm a firm believer that when you take things out of the natural element, other things happen over time. Kind of like when a foreign fish from Asia will come to be brought into American waters. Know what I mean? Okay, yeah, that fish is gonna live, but it's gonna throw off the balance of everything around it. Then once that fish multiply, okay, yeah, it's gonna be in the water environment, but it throws off everything around it, and that's what the whole thing happens when you took the black man and the black woman from a natural African environment, and then having them adapt into a European type mindset.
Right.
Okay, things got thrown off for generations and everything, and honestly, a lot of us still have not recovered from that.
A lot of people haven't recovered from that. And the common cause for that was the system and how it was rigged. It was when I think it's been about close to 50 years when it was set up to weed the father out of the household. That's where the disaster started. So when they had to weed the father out the household, they played the black man against the black woman.
Which that should never have happened.
And it led you into feminism. Okay, if you watch the Cosby Show,
Go ahead, man.
Claire was an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Heathcliff was a doctor.
Right.
In real life, it's not heard of to work these two professions and still have a family life and a love life, is it?
Nah,
No, he made it look easy, and if you pay attention, who was the dominant one in their marriage?
it wasn't Cliff.
No, it was Claire. He might have an idea, but the feminism attitude dominated him, and he had to have a sense of humor to maneuver around. It started back then.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't going on in good times.
Nah, see, the one thing I respected about James, James was still a man.
He's still a man come first, regardless of how the system was designed to fail him.
Yeah, man, you
Right.
Okay.
That's why he's angry all the time.
Right. See, and a lot of people who too young to remember good times. Okay, it's a lot of good lessons you can take from good times.
If you look at the science of good times.
Right. Now, one things I took from good times was that how the women looked back then and everything. Thelma was probably one of the better looking women of that day.
Of that era, yeah.
Yeah.
And still look good.
Yeah, and even at her advanced age.
Still looks good.
She still is a nice looking woman by most men's standards. Most of us will see her as like, you know what? She's not Beyonce, but hell, I think she's in her 60s.
Well, you gotta look at it, man. That was natural beauty back then, and
but still, that's still saying something to say that she is still. You could have that conversation and say her at 60, could still rock with some of these women in their 30s and a few in their 20s. That's saying something about her now. She kept herself up now.
Not just that, man. This has a lot to do with the upbringing and the lifestyle that everybody was raised upon.
Okay.
Because you can find other women in that same era that look like they 30 years older than her.
Okay.
And the life that you live sometimes
tell
the difference 30, 40 years later.
I'll give you that.
You see a 50-year-old that looks like they 70. And you talk to this 50-year-old that look like they 70. You hear their story. You understand why they look like they 70. Because they were forced to be adults before their time, and that's why they grow up to do childish and adolescent things. They still get into trouble at 60 and 70. You have to repeat yourself till 60 and 70. You know how stressful that is?
I found it laughable because it kind of reminded me of the 60-year-old woman who was stalking the guy she was quote unquote dating.
Right.
And she didn't know that
they didn't have no childhood. They were forced to be adults because of different challenges that happened in their life.
Yeah. It's kind of like, who stalks, what 60-some-year-old woman stalks a man and peeping in the bushes saying, I seen you, I knew you was cheating. He was like, but lady, I haven't called you in 4 months.
Well, that lady had a rough childhood.
I
If
bet
you
she
hold a
did.
discussion with her, she'll have a lot to tell you. She'll have a story for you. But as always, it's been a pleasure. This is our Generations B. Stay tuned for C. Talk to you later.